Welcome to Bonding Over Bourbon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kat.
And today, in lieu of our usual bourbon hunting videos, we're offering a Bourbon Hunting 101 or best practices for bourbon hunting as we get a little bit closer to allocation season. So you can try to find some of those rarer, more hard to find bottles that you want on your shelf.
Yes, and we've definitely seen some bourbon drinkers get extremely frustrated when they're trying to find those bottles. So we just wanted to show some of those tips that we found helpful as we went about our journey.
Yeah, and in order to kick this off, we are celebrating our successes of the year with one of the harder, more difficult to find bottles. Kat, show the people what we got.
We have Weller CYPB.
Yeah, so many people know about this one. If you're not familiar, super sought after, pretty hard to find, marked up to pretty crazy degrees.
Yes, I mean, this can vary from MSRP all the way to $700, $800 we've seen in liquor stores.
Or for scale, from $50 to $800.
Yes.
So this is going to show you easier ways to get this. Again, just a couple of disclaimers here. This is not a foolproof method. This is not guaranteed. This is what we have noticed is successful for us and for other people that we have talked to. What works for you might work for you, or it might not work for you. Either way, we're hoping you can find something in this video to apply to your own life to make things a little bit easier and more successful for you. And that brings us to our first point, big box stores. They are among the easiest ways to get things at MSRP. We're talking stores like Binny's, Total Wine, Specs, things like that. They're usually a good spot. They get really good allocation. They have a ton of sales over the year. Mm-hmm. So your opportunity to get something from them is potentially higher, but it does come with a little bit of an asterisk to it, which we will go over a little bit later in the video.
Yeah, and I would also say leave no stone unturned when thinking about like going out to liquor stores. The big box stores is just one option. There are also the mom and pop places as well, where you can go out and see things that are already in your route. Or what we do is also we look a lot online beforehand and kind of search their Yelp page as well as like their social media, things that would kind of give us indications that they actually get things in their store.
A really good indicator of a way to find hard to get bottles would be large displays on the side of a building or inside the window, whether it's for 1792, Wheatley, Fireball, Buffalo Trace, or even Eagle Rare. Companies put this on the side of their building to let you know that they get these kind of things. And it's a really good indication that they churn through enough bottles to hopefully get a really nice allocation at the end of the year.
And I would also put an asterisk on that. It's not always a guarantee, but it's also a nice indication to know that they get a lot of a specific brand. I know we walk through stores and I've seen huge displays of Fireball and like it's just churned through week over week. And that's a really nice indication of you kind of know what else is going to get dropped.
Yeah, or what else they might be carrying.
Next up is what we call the trifecta of allocation, which is store picks of Corazon, Knob Creek, and Maker's Mark. Usually when you see those three, it's a nice indication of they're also getting other allocated products.
Yeah, and with that, it shows that they're buying large enough volume of those main houses, whether it's like Beam or Sazerac, that even if they don't necessarily have stuff out at the moment, it doesn't mean they won't get it later. It shows you that not only do they have a good relationship with the brand, but they're also trusted to sell those products and they extend that opportunity to the store or the chain. And that brings us to another point here. Signing up for loyalty cards, loyalty programs, and newsletters. It's a great way for big box stores to track how much you spend so they know when they should throw something extra nice your way.
And I would also say not just big box stores. Also, we've seen it with like smaller chains as well as individual stores as well.
Yeah, or employee owned things like Woodman's. They do have newsletters that go out to only people that are interested in the world of whiskey. So it's a really good opportunity to get access to those things as they're dropping. And this is how you'll find out about like raffles and like charity things going on that will get you really nice access to things that are normally a little bit harder to find.
Yeah, and just like going to the grocery store when you input your number, loyalty cards also track how much you're spending at that store. So it is super important to like double check we always kind of think about like, where are we going to get our bottom shelf stuff throughout the year? Where are we going to get this? Sometimes it's cheaper to go to Costco, but I want to spend a little more at my local liquor store so that I can get those points there.
And one last thing to touch on for that. With a loyalty card, with tracking how much you spend, that also means that they're going to track how many of these allocated bottles you're getting attached to this card. So if you think you can run out to 2 or 3 or 4 different stores of the same chain, I'm going to stop you right here. It's not going to happen and you're going to get pretty frustrated.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And doubling back on that, I think another thing that's super important is only take what you need. This is not Black Friday. Like the prices are not dropping. They're still there. Maybe you want to like grab multiple, maybe have some family members that really want it. But I think that at some point it gets a little excessive. So you probably don't need 17 bottles of that really allocated product that you want. Maybe you need 1 and a backup.
Yeah, while perusing Reddit, what Kat's referencing is we saw somebody in Arizona grab 17 bottles of Stag because there wasn't a limit on the shelf. That's all fine and dandy if you have 17 friends that want it, but ultimately, like, come on, that's a little excessive. And if you really think about it, think about how hard it's been for you to possibly find these bottles, and just imagine that every 2 or 3 bottles that you buy makes 2 or 3 bottles fewer for somebody else to find it, and they start to feel the same frustration and troubles that you felt when you were trying to find them.
We've definitely been last in line where like the last bottle was given out and we're just like, oh no. All right, well, I guess those bottles are gone forever.
Yeah, and then we see a group of 5 people all walking away with 2 bottles each, and we're like, cool, this is great.
Yeah, super great. So only take what you need.
Chasing drops is fine, but there's a few things that you should never do. First of which is calling a store. Just imagine that 400 people are calling your phone about 5 to 15 seconds apart, all asking you the same question. It's reasonable to think that they'd get really frustrated, they'd feel harassed, and they'd be a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, and Chris and I have both worked retail as well. And when you are stuck at a phone, other things do not happen within like your own job. So making sure that you're respectful and really going out and like understanding that like these are people as well is super helpful. And like to Chris's point, like think about all those spam calls that you get throughout the day. Like if you got one after another, wouldn't you also be super frustrated?
I've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
Oh, really? I don't have a car.
I've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
But I don't know.
I've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty. You guys get the idea.
Yeah.
So ultimately, treat the people with respect. That also means not swarming the stores, not waiting in aisles for pallets to go out, and most importantly, not harassing the staff. This is one of the hardest times of the year because they know so many of us are so overzealous and excited to get these bottles that it becomes a little bit frustrating, a little bit dehumanizing, and a little bit, I don't know, overwhelming?
Yeah, I would definitely say overwhelming. This is like allocation season for like liquor store employees is like the Black Friday for like Kmart shoppers.
Yeah, or like Super Bowl shopping on Super Bowl Sunday. It's a bunch of people that are panicked. You can smell the desperation, and usually people are going to be less inclined to help you. They'll just kind of step away and be like, I don't know, you figure it out.
Yeah, like I'm not going to check. But I think another really important point to this as well is just talk to people like they are people and make sure that when you are going there that like you don't have to be buddy with someone, but you do have to respect that they're a person and they have feelings and they're probably also going home and talking shit about you too.
Hopefully not. If you follow some of these tips here, you will hopefully circumvent all of that and you'll become one of their favorite people to talk to because they know every week on Saturday at about 2 o'clock, they're going to find you at this exact spot. And no matter how busy their day is, no matter how stressful it is, you are going to be a joy to see. And they're going to be happy to just talk shop. Talk about what's going on in the business, talk about what's going on in the neighborhood. You're going to learn about your community. You're going to learn about your favorite store that you shop at. You're going to learn about the people that are providing you a service that you normally wouldn't have access to. And overall, it's just going to help everyone in the end.
Yeah, we've definitely found like fun movies and like concerts to go to because of like just talking to people at liquor stores.
Yeah, so to kind of sum this up, just treat people like people and people will treat you valued.
And our last point is FOMO. There's always going to be something bigger, flashier, more exciting. We're in late stage capitalism. This just happens. So don't lose sleep if you didn't get that bottle of Weller CYPB. There will always be another opportunity, another store, or maybe you'll just find someone who is nice enough to share some with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as we love chasing these kind of bottles and we really enjoy it, if one kind of slips through our fingers, in the past, we used to get a little worked up for it, but at the end of the day, it's just spicy corn water. There will always be more of it. You're always going to have the opportunity to either try it at a bar, be able to enjoy it with friends if they get it. You know, this is what building a community is really about. We have gone to stores that have given us samples of things that they no longer have, but they had on the shelf, so you can have a more informed opinion about it, and you can decide next year whether or not it's worth the hunt for you. Yeah. So just a couple of tips here to kind of give you some ideas to make things a little bit easier for you at every store that everyone goes to during this time of year. This is our method. If you have tried something else and it works, please let us know below in the comments. If you enjoy videos like this, let us know. And we thank you for watching our video. We'll catch you next time.